Am I paying favorites with my nieces? Hello all. I am a bit lost for words, confused and need advice. Names and ages have been changed for privacy. I, 30F, have two nieces Alice, 25F, and Kate, to be 18F. When I was in my early 20s I inherited a sum allowing me to buy a small house. It's important to say that this inheritance did not come from a family member, so no one else in my family got any money. When Alice turned 18 she wanted to go to uni in the city I lived in, a bigger city that is known for being pricey. I went to school in the city too, different school though. At the time my BF and I were talking about moving in together. What would have made the most sense was that I would sell my house and we would buy a bigger place together. Well, we found a place and my house was on the market, but so far no real interest. BF and I had enough for a decent down payment and moved into the new place. I gave myself a deadline for a sale and if it didn't sell, I would rent it out. Selling while renting out would have been a real headache imo. And cue the world's fave virus, bringing all our lives to a crashing halt. Alice was struggling in school with all the chaos and student housing was becoming more of a nightmare than usual. So, she made the effort to come to me, crazy to think that we were sitting in the backyard 2.5 m apart wearing masks at one point, and asked if she could rent my old house with a friend, so that they would have a permanent place and wouldn't have to move home every summer and then scramble for uni accommodation in the fall. I agreed. I knew her friend and was confident that they would take good care of the place. I made an agreement with both of them that I didn't want rent from them, but they had to pay all utilities, yearly council tax and in case the washer or something broke, they would replace it. We agreed that this arrangement would stand, as long as Alice is in school and for 1 year after, for her to be able to put some money aside when she starts working in her field. Her friend was tied to Alice's timeline, and I would put the house back on the market when Alice was ready to move out. However, it was decided that, if I needed to sell sooner, say I or BF lost our jobs or any other reason, they would have to move out. This worked well for 5-ish years. Alice graduated, started working, and is now engaged to a great guy. After our agreement came to an end, again she and her fiancé came to me and asked if they could buy my house as their starter home. I said yes and everyone was happy. Until now. Kate is starting uni in the fall of 2025. She doesn't know where yet since acceptances aren't out yet. She called me asking for money to pay for her living expenses/rent. Her logic was, now that I didn't own the house anymore, I would just give her the cash amount that her sister saved in rent. I didn't know that she was counting on living there if she moved here. She never asked, never said anything to allude to this. I had to explain to her that I wouldn't be able to help her the same way I did with her sister. Being able to help her sister was just luck imo. She asked what I did with the money from the sale and I kindly told her that that was none of her business. I don't feel like I need to justify what I do or don't do with my money. We ended the call with me saying that I need to think for a few days and I would call her back. The girl's parents are kind of staying out of it. They are paying tuition, same as they did for Alice, and expect Kate to work a student job, just like Alice did. Without my help, the tuition money will be used for living expenses and Kate will have to take out student loans. Their dad, my brother, said that I shouldn't have given to one if I wasn't planning on giving the same to all the other kids in the family as well. And while I do get that, I know that it's unfair in Kate's eyes. I can't just pay for her rent wherever she wants to study for however long that will be. In my eyes I didn't lose money while Alice was living in the house. No, I didn't get any rent, but the house was maintained, cared for and in the end was sold for a fair price on both sides. If I pay for Kate's rent, the money would more or less be gone at the end of the day. Yesterday I called Kate and first apologized for being a bit rough, but she had caught me off guard and I didn't know what to say. I then asked her where she was planning on going to uni. All 5 applications are cities that are price-wise on the same level as her sister's or cities where rent wouldn't be as steep. I asked about student housing. Well, she doesn't want to live in uni accommodations because her sister didn't. I did point out that for her first year Alice did live in student housing and moved when the world was on fire and her living at my house was a solid solution for her. All I got from Kate was don't know what to do with that. I said that I spoke to my husband about helping her and since we now have joint finances, yes we both do have a personal account for saving money, but he thinks it would be unfair for me to pay this on my own, and we would be able to give her $400 a month to go towards rent or living expenses for 3 years. Kate said that this was considerably less than what Alice got, and yes, price-wise she would be right. Kate is now in a mood, great right before Christmas. But I can't give her the same treatment, I just can't. I don't think it's fair to take away from my family to give her an even playing field with her sister. Back when Alice came to me she needed help and I was in a position to help her. I didn't take rent from her and her friend because during that time we all needed a little help. I just feel a bit lost. Is there any way I could make this fair or am I just going to have to be an AH in Kate's eyes? Though I haven't outright be accused of playing favorites, I feel like it's kind of the undertone whenever we talk about it.